Now, this video has been in the making for months. Like, 2 or so months, actually, because I recently got Legends CA, like 3 months ago when I was... Yeah, 3 months ago when I was in New South Wales for, holidays, which is why I didn't post for a while there. But I got Legends ZA. And if you remember my last commentary video where I was talking about Legends ZA and the whole situation going bad with that, excuse me, that was a horrible, horrible mispronunciation of my words. But anyhow, with that, I did get a comment from one user. This comment, pause if you want to read it. However, I do very much understand their opinion, and I understand I did come off as a little hypocritical considering I've formed my opinion based on only the gameplay footage and not the actual game itself, because I didn't have it at the time, and I sincerely apologize for that. I really should have waited to make my commentary on that part of the video. My main concern there was that people were getting attacked on their opinion of Legends ZA and for liking Legends ZA, and that really sucks because people shouldn't be getting insulted or threatened or anything like that over their opinion on a video game. I think that's very stupid. But with that being said, my honest review of it, my honest opinion is it's great. Honestly, I think the game is really good. I stand by my opinion that I made on my last video on the topic. After actually playing the game and after experiencing it, I think it's really good, even on the Switch 1. However, there are some critiques I do have. I really feel like completing the Pokedex should have still been the way to get the shiny charm. Like, I understand the Mabel's research task sort of thing sort of links it back to Legends Arceus, where you didn't just have... Where in Legends Arceus, you didn't, just catch all the Pokemon to get the shiny charm. You had to get, details on them and everything. I think that's really cool. However, it is really annoying because at the moment, I'm actually working to get the shiny charm so I can get shinies easier. Actually, just so I can get more shinies, to be completely honest. But unfortunately, I'm left 100 points short and have to do the 1,000 battles just to get that 100 points to get up to level 50. However, I do like that system. It incentivizes people to actually do a lot of the other aspects of the game if they want to get more rewards and get more stuff. You even get a Master Ball near the end of the track. They also help you level up your Pokemon, which is really good. I like that. However, I do think locking the Mega Greninja, Mega Chestnut, and Mega Delphox behind a paywall is really shitty still. It was locked behind online play, and you need Nintendo Online to do that, which I feel is really dumb, honestly. Yes, every company does it. To have online play, you have to have their subscription to their specific service. I personally think that's really stupid because it's okay, well, see, here's the thing. I have internet. And if I go onto my computer, I don't need a paid membership to play on Steam or Roblox or anything like that. So I just hate the fact that companies do this, and they've been doing this since, the very beginning of full online play. But yeah, that's just my take on that. Honestly, don't listen to that if you don't want to. However, I really like the Pokemon models. I think they look really good, and I think this is some of the best that the 3D models have ever looked. I think it's a big improvement. It's obviously a big jump from Gen 9. And yes, they are pretty lifelike. They're more lively in Gen 9. I feel like this is a much better upgrade. Also, the lighting actually looks really good, even on the Switch 1. It still looks pretty good, and I enjoy the visuals. And while the flat textures, yeah, I can see why people don't like them. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. And to be fair, and I'm not defending it. I feel like, yeah, it would have brought a bit more life if the buildings were more detailed. However, to be fair, they had to make it work with the Switch models, and the Switch models aren't as powerful, as the Nintendo Switch 2. And while you must be saying to yourself, "Oh, Karen, they could have just made it the 3D, the models for the built decided buildings 3D for the Switch 2." Yeah, I get that, but also it just, yeah, they still had to make it backwards compatible because you can actually play games that are on the Switch 1 with a Switch 2 cartridge. That's an actual thing that you can do. C.com proved it. I'll link the video to that in the description. Well, scratch that actually. A different M Swizzle. Another thing, another quick correction. That video that I mentioned by M Swizzle, it's it's a skit more than anything else, but it does explain what I mentioned. So do watch it. Link in the description. Go subscribe to him. Because if it's a game like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild per se, you can, if you have that on Switch 2 or like Tears of the Kingdom and you put it in a Switch 1 console, it'll actually work because it's just the same game but with better graphics. Essentially, it's like it's not a changed game. So they chose to implement that because it's the same game data. So changing it would be a bit like making it different between versions. I feel like that would have been a bit complex, like from the perspective of the coders. Though I do agree, a lot of the content that they put behind a paywall could have been added to the base game, because and hey, Editor Karen here. I just wanted to say real quick that it was not the Rogue Renegade that made the video I was talking about. It was actually Ace Umbrella. I think that's the name. But yeah, the link to that video will be in the comments as well as their YouTube channel. Great YouTube channel, by the way. Go subscribe to them. Link in the description. And he talks about how the problem with the Pokemon games is that they're released back to 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 back. They do take a while to like make, but the problem is that Game Freak aren't getting enough time to be able to fully make all this stuff. Like there was supposed to be a whole southern region of Kalos. There was supposed to be so much other stuff in Pokemon games, but the problem is they haven't had enough time to implement it because they have to meet the deadlines of Nintendo. And while I think it's stupid, there's nothing much we can do about it unless we, I don't know, go on a ride or something, but I don't think anyone's going to do that. However, that being said, the game feels pretty contentful. Like, I don't feel bored when playing it, and I've pretty much beat the game. Shinies are actually pretty easy to find, and while yes, hunting for them can be kind of boring, you still have the infinite ZA Royale that you can do where you constantly get rewards and stuff, which is really good. You have those extra side missions to get Mewtwo and Diancie, as well as some post-game missions to get Eternal Flower Floette, the Zygarde, Xerneas, and Yveltal. You have all of those available to you, so I don't feel like the post-game is boring per se. However, I do feel like a worthwhile investment is in the Mega Dimensions DLC because it adds a lot more story and it adds a lot of more Pokemon and a bunch more cool Megas. I personally need to get it. That video will be coming later. However, back to the topic at hand. While I do agree with some of the critiques, I don't think the gameplay is bland. Overall, the story is really good. I really like the character, a lot of the characters. They put a lot of detail into the characters and their stories, and I love how you have to do side quests or main missions to be able to get to those characters, and that gives you more context into their lives. Whereas with all the Pokemon games, it's just you have these characters and they're here. Well, at least up until Gen 5. They've been adding more and more story, but I feel like Legends EA does that really well. While there's not a lot of story, there is still enough to keep someone satisfied. I do like the concept of the Legends EA Royale, the ZA Royale. I really like that. It gives you an incentive it's an incentive to do story, and after that, with the Infinite ZA Royale, it's an incentive to keep getting your battles up, and that I think that's a really good incentive. I feel like you have a variety of side quests to do. You could do them at any time, and that gives you a buttload of stuff to do, which is really good and brings back to the topic that there is actually quite a bit to do in Lumios. all things considered. Plus, there's also collecting all the Mega Stones, which is a bit of a slog, but you have to do it. Well, you don't have to do it, but hey, if you get all the Mega Stones, you have access to every Mega in the base roster, except for the starter Megas for the Colors starters, which I'm still pissed off about. But all that aside, all in all, I think I'd rate the game a 4.5 out of 5. It stars. It isn't perfect. Actually, no, I'll demote half a star. It's 4 stars. It isn't perfect. It has its flaws. I do wish that they give out Greninja, Delphoxes, and Chestnut's Megastones in a separate event later down the line. I don't think that's very likely, to be completely honest with you. Apparently Mega Garchomp Z's event is pretty underwhelming, which that's a boo for that. Though I can't say because I don't have the Mega Dimension DLC. An update to this, an update to this video. An update to this video will be coming when I get the Mega Dimensions DLC and once I finish that. However, there is one more topic I need to bring up in this video, and that is Pokemon Champions. Oh my god, it's going to be a microtransaction riddled mess. The game's not even out yet, and not only are they going to charge you for extra box space, but they're going to have a battle pass which might lock some forms of Pokemon, some Pokemon, and some Megastones and TMs behind a paywall. And this is actually really bad for competitive players because the meta is constantly changing and evolving the more the generations advance. And they need more than 30 box spaces. So unless they want to do that, then they don't have enough box spaces. Not to mention, with the Battle Pass, they have to get the Battle Pass to have everything available to them. I just feel like that's stupid. And same thing with Pokemon Home too. I think it's really stupid that you only get 30 box spaces in Pokemon Home. I feel like that's really dumb. Just thought I should comment on that one. But yeah, we'll have to see when Pokemon Champions comes out. I will give my separate review on that when it comes out, and I'll download it, I'll play it for a little bit, and I'll see what's going on with that. However, that does bring me to the end of the video, and the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You get the gist. Make sure to go check out my first video on Legends EA. It should be there, I think, if editing me does this right. And then make sure to go check out my video on the Switch 2, which will be there. It'll be to my left, but this camera's right. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Ciao for now.